says it's setting up.
Awesome.
Okay, now the meeting's streaming live. Yay! I had to go back to the thing. Okay, hi guys. How are you guys doing? I'm actually going to have to turn on my phone to look at my page on Facebook to see if you guys are doing anything live because it's not showing up on my Zoom. But I'm here today with my good friend Lucy Brummett. She is a freelance writer and she's all around awesome person. We're going to talk about the value of friendship. I want to start off with a Bible verse, which is Proverbs 27:9, which actually my friend Brooke this morning just shared on her feed, and I thought was perfect to share today. And it's called "A Sweet Friendship Refreshes the Soul." And Lucy has been one of these people that immediately we just kind of connected with each other, and we've just kind of had similar things happen in our lives. We're both kind of her marriage is opposite of mine. Her marriage, she's married to a Caucasian man, and I'm married to a Hispanic man, but she's Hispanic, so we kind of just like flip flop. So, Lucy, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've been writing since about 2003. I got my start in newspaper writing back in my home state of Ohio, and I launched my blog in 2016. So that's what I've been doing. And then I moved into podcasting as well. And that's still my baby, but I've been writing forever.
And she is an awesome person, all around awesome person, like I said before. I'm putting my phone up here just in case anybody comments while we're talking so I can see the comments. So today is actually part of a challenge that I'm in. It's a Create, Believe, Conquer. It's called the CBC Challenge with Cammie Kennedy, who's a life coach. And she challenged us yesterday as our homework today to talk about some of our core values. And one of the things I value the most is friendship. And I know it's hard right now during this time of sheltering in place and social distancing, being able to be friends with each other and being able to see friends and still maintain these friendships. So Lucy, I thought I would grab Lucy to come on and talk about some of the things that we can do to still be friends with people and still connect with people. I know one of the things that Lucy and I do is we try to text each other every day, or Lucy and I both do this, is we actually do the voice message. Instead of calling and leaving a voice message, you just do the voice message so that we can hear each other talk. So Lucy, can you come up with some other things that you do?
Yeah, right now it's basically, I'm doing the same thing with other friends. I love doing FaceTime with you. It's a blast. And also what you're doing right now, the Zoom is a great way to get more than one person, in a group and talk to them. And just doing the old fashioned stuff, just picking up the phone and calling. I know you and I try to see when we're free before we do that. I have been picking up the phone and just calling just the way that we used to do it back. I call them the old days, but it's really just reaching out to people that are your friends. Maybe you've had some lifelong friends and you've kind of like lost touch. You might be on social media and like you'll say hi and bye and oh, that's cute, the little comments. But sometimes if you just pick up the phone, surprise somebody with a call, even if they don't answer, leave them a message. And especially during this time, it's just like so impactful when you do that. When they hear your voice, they're like, wow, what made you think of me? Like, why did you call me out of all the people? And it's really important for the ones that you hardly get a chance to talk with. So I think like right now, this time is like so important to do that.
That's true. And also it's important to, even if you're not engaging with them on phone, but engage with them on social media, try to leave positive comments on things that they post. Like I know yesterday you posted a really cool picture that you had taken through your photography class that I was like, you have such a great eye for the picture that you posted. So definitely encourage and uplift each other that way.
Yeah, I would agree. And thank you for doing that. Yeah, because, right now, a lot of us are at home, and I'm really thankful that you are my friend and that we connected so great and we have a lot of things in common. And right now it's like a really good time to just really put more nurturing into our friendships, even though, you know, you've been nurturing them before. I think right now we're at a different level. Like it's like an intense thing that we're doing, but it's so meaningful. And I feel like it's taking um, a lot out of us, what's going on, especially if we are, you know, at home and stuff like that. And just being able to connect and just look and see what everybody else is up to. There's people doing things for the first time at home that they're not used to doing. I get a kick out of that. So like you said, you know, commenting on their posts, I mean, they're going to notice that you're trying to keep in touch.
Speaking of doing things for the first time, this is the first time that I've actually done a Facebook Live. And it's actually something, the challenge that Cami has posted in there was she challenged us to do an Instagram Live or a Facebook Live. And, you know, I'm not one to be in front of the camera. I'm always the one behind the scenes. So it's kind of getting me out of my comfort zone to do things that I wouldn't normally do. So
That's awesome. And congratulations on that. You have got me beat. I have got to do that myself. I'm not there yet, but it looks like this is a great way to go about it.
but you do lives pretty much on your personal page, right?
I do. I do a lot on my personal page. I do want to get into Zoom because I have some little projects that are coming up that I think this would be a great platform to do that with. But you're right, you know, getting out of your comfort zone is like key. And that might mean, I think sometimes with our friends, the ones that are, I call them the quiet ones. I know I can be quiet sometimes. And just reaching out and checking out how people are doing, because I'm the kind of person that I feel at this age, you know, I'm going to be 50 this year. I feel like I don't have all those years, you know, like to wait to get to know someone. So just being able to connect with someone, you know, like you've become a wonderful, wonderful friend. I didn't have all those years with you to get to know you, but I feel like I've known you all my life.
Life. Yep. That's exactly how it is with you. I mean, there's very few people, like I said before, that I've clicked with, like I've clicked with you. So it's really great. Also, to take advantage of, if you don't have FaceTime, if you don't have an iPhone, Zoom calls are great. And try to get out of your comfort zone. Like I was just telling Lucy before we hopped on that I was doing an online Bible study with Restored for Moms that the only person I knew was Stephanie, who was the leader of it, because Stephanie was actually the one that I actually profiled in one of my Women in Business series. Lucy was also profiled as well, if you guys might remember Lucy. But Stephanie launched that right as her profile was launching on my blog. So I joined, and I did not know any of these women in this group. And I showed up. Well, there was one Tuesday I missed, but I showed up every Tuesday and I shared every Tuesday, which is hard for me to share. So just show up and be there and try to get out of your comfort zone and do other things.
That's a huge thing, because a lot of the times we feel like we can't do it. And especially now, it's really easy to feel like you're alone and you don't have anybody to go to, or that's going to help support you, whatever it is that you're going through right now, which can be really hard. And I think right now is just as important to really reach out to people, no matter how you can do it. Like all these ideas that we're talking about, they're going to make a difference to someone else. And then they're going to pass it on and think, hey, I did it with Melissa. Hey, I can do this with somebody else.
And honestly, you know, normally when I would get into my little funk, I would be able to pick up the phone and call somebody or text somebody, hey, you want to meet for lunch? But now we can't do that. But actually, a thought came to me the other day, was like, well, why can't you do that? Why can't you still have lunch with a friend? You obviously can't have lunch face to face, but you can actually virtual lunch. Like there's one friend that I miss right now. We started doing a Proverbs 31 Bible study together way back in the summer. And she lives like 30 minutes away from me, and we would always meet once a week and have dinner together. Well, now, because her work is so crazy, because she works in agriculture, she works with the loans for agriculture, so it's hard for her to get away to even get on a Zoom call. And thought, well, why don't we do a lunch one day or dinner one day where we're just chatting with each other and having that conversation? She brings whatever she's going to eat and I bring whatever I'm going to eat, and we're still going to have that conversation of having, you know, that fellowship together.
I like that idea. I've heard of some other people doing that. They're either doing, well, some people are doing happy hour stuff, but
That works.
hours. Coffee, virtual coffee. I have not done that yet, but I would like to do that because you want to tell everybody how far away we are from one another.
Mhm.
You
That's
and I,
true.
what's the
Yeah.
distance?
We're about what, an hour and a half
Yep.
about away from each other, and we don't get to see each other often. So that when we do get to see each other, we kind of make the most of the time that we have together. So
Right. That's right. I really like that idea of, right now, I'm fortunate enough to be home. My boys are older, like your kids.
mhm.
And, but still, you want that connection with your friends. And I'm a big people person. I love to connect with other people and just have those friendships where they're just always thriving because I value friendship. I mean, that's like the best gift, I think, is to have a good friend. And if you can have friends from childhood that are still your friends, you're doing something right. But if you've made new friends and those are thriving, you're still doing something right. So it's so important to just be there for one another. I mean, I love this.
I was actually on a call last week with Cami, and we were talking about, the importance of having friends, and she was talking about maybe it's not important for you to have a million friends. Maybe it's more important for you to have that one, two, maybe three, four friends that you can confide in that know you inside and out, that know the real you, other than the friends that are like the fly by night friends.
That's
That
true. Because a lot of times, especially I have found with social media and depending on what you're doing, there's a side that we show people. It doesn't mean that you're like a fake person, but let's take Instagram, for example. There's a side that you show depending on how your feed looks. And when you have a good friend, they get to see all of you. They get to see the moments where maybe something didn't go right. Maybe you didn't get that job that you wanted or that assignment, whatever you call it. And, or maybe you're going through some hard moments in life and hard seasons. Those are the friends that you want. I mean, you can have acquaintances and those are awesome, those connections and, that's that network that you're in. But to have a friend that's there for you and that knows you inside and out, that's priceless.
Yeah, it's true. That is so priceless. And I'm so lucky that I've had a lot, not a lot, but I'm lucky that I've had friends like you and friends like Emily, because we were just talking about Emily right before. I don't know if she's hopped on yet or not, but she actually was going to our local, not our local, but like 30 minutes away, a dairy farm to pick up milk today. And she texted me this morning and said, "Hey, I'm going there. It's Simply Natural." She said, "Do you want me to pick up anything for you?" So I had her pick me up a half a gallon of white milk, whole milk, half a gallon of chocolate milk, and a half a gallon of ice cream because I have to have my ice cream.
Hey, and what about a friend that is willing to bring you toilet paper and leave it on
Yes,
your front porch? I've had that happen already. I was so grateful. I've never been so happy to see toilet paper in my life.
that is so true. And plus too, with the social distancing thing, a lot of people are doing these parades for friends that have birthdays, like they're driving by. And I noticed last night on one person's Instagram that it was like for a 4-year-old little boy, and they threw toilet paper at him as this present. He was so happy to get toilet paper.
That's cute.
So yeah, I also too, we need to think about mailing things too, like mailing cards or letters, or even if you're reading a book that you think your friend might like. Like I know I've actually sent Lucy a book which she posted about on her Instagram, book that I had just gotten through reading like last year, and I wanted her to read it because I felt like this is where her story was going to come in and be able to write because Lucy is a writer. So I thought that I could see her writing a story like that. And so tell me about the book now, Lucy.
Oh my gosh, that book is You Are Enough. Is that
Uh-huh.
title? It's been actually I was reading it before I got on this. So and I read it last night. And it's just one of those books that you want to read
Hmm.
that like you can really feel what the writer's going through and feelings like a big deal when you're writing anything. If you can make your audience feel something, that's huge. That's what you want. So I've always been somebody that has liked to read, a lot. And that one's really, really hitting home for me. So I can't wait to see what happens after I finish it. but I think it's going to make a huge, huge difference. So thank you for giving it to me.
See, I told you. See, it's things like that when you see something that a friend might like or a friend might need at the moment, sending it on to them. Like a lot of times, I know I shoot Lucy emails from devotionals that I read, and I say, "Hey, this made me think of you." I've also done it with Molly from Still Being Molly. Um, it's just sometimes you just felt called to share it.
And that's true. I mean, that was just absolutely perfect timing when I got that in the mail. But you're right. Sending people things in the mail. Um, right now, I'm a little like I'm a germaphobe. If you don't know that already. So for me to get out and about, it's hard for me to like go to a post office. But if I have something small, even if I want to write, like for me, what I would do, I would just write a letter that takes regular postage at
Mhm.
cost and just throw a stamp on it, put it in the mailbox. That would be meaningful for me. And
Yeah.
then when we get out of this later, that's when I'll go and do more of like a care package when this is
Mhm.
over. I think I'll be more apt to do it when this is over as a reminder that I need to keep nurturing my friendships and
Yeah.
doing snail mail the old way.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, I had a couple of Hallmark cards because a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, Hallmark actually posted that they were giving away like these little cards for people to send to people. So I got like a 5 or 6 pack of cards from Hallmark, so I have to send out to
That's
people. Just
awesome.
it's like basically it was one was talking about I'm still here even though you can't see me. Just really cute cards that was actually about the time that we're in. Um, Another way we can do is pray for your friends and pray with your friends. I mean, honestly, if your friends say, "No, I don't want you to pray with me," then you can pray for them. Pray for them, even if there's in situations that you don't know what's going on. You can just say, "Hey, just hold them up because I know they're going through a hard time." What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree. I do it all the time. I have a really good friend in Ohio. At my last job that I had, she became another best friend. And she, from the get go, always prayed. And at the time, I was a Catholic at the time, and she was, a different denomination, but it never held me back from like hearing what she had to say because I thought, well, we just have different titles. It's a label. But for her to continue to pray for me, like in real life, on the phone, when I'm not hearing her. I mean, that's huge. And I do the same for people. If they're willing to let you pray with them, that's fine. I'm all for it. And if they are more of a private person, if they just say, yeah, would you just keep me in prayer? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I'll do it.
Because I mean, something so great about, just having that common bond, even if you're not sharing the prayer, but knowing that someone's thinking about you and praying for you, regardless of your situation. I mean, you may be having the best day of your life, or you may be having the worst day of your life. Just knowing that someone's there in your corner at all times just makes a big difference. I know.
It sure does. Because sometimes people are going through some really tough times that they want to take on all that emotional baggage themselves and just say, I don't need anybody. I want to do this by myself. But when you really sit down and think about it, you don't have to be by yourself. You may feel like you want to take it on, but it's really a heavy weight to carry
Hmm.
that it's not meant for you to carry it by yourself. Not when you have good friends.
Honestly, I think that's where you and I are both alike. We tend to kind of shut down when things are starting to go wrong and try to shut people out. And I know I've tried to get you a little bit more out of it, and I think you're trying to get me a little bit more out of it too, so that we're actually talking through because we realize it's not as bad as what we make it out in our mind to be sometimes.
That's right. We complement each other because I've had that. It's a habit. I feel like, people look towards me and say, hey, you're the inspirational one. You're the one that has the pep talks. You're the one that does this and all the good and positivity. And it's true. But at the same time, I'm still a human at the end of the day and I have emotions too. So when I have my tough times, it's because of everything that I've given. I've given so much to others that it's almost like it drains you and you feel like I can't let anyone else in because I just have to fix it myself. But when you start to realize that your friends that try to get you out of your funk, when you realize that they're doing that for you for a good reason to help you out of it,
Mhm.
then that's when you let go and you're like, okay, stop being a baby, stop taking it all on. Your friends are there for you. Let them help you.
Yeah, even if you don't want to go into the detail with the friends, just let them know, hey, I'm going through a tough time right now. And friends can say, hey, how can I help you? They
Yeah,
don't have to know every detail of your situation. They just need to know that you're going through a rough time and you need support.
that's right. It's a big deal. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you too, by the way. And the last thing I have is listening to friends. I mean, honestly, sometimes we just want to go and just get everything off our chest. We don't want advice. We just want to be listened, to be heard, and be told basically that our feelings are valid, that things that we are feeling is what we're feeling, and they're valid, and they're not about, you know, John Blow down the street or anything like that. It's about how we're feeling, and just say, okay, you have a right to feel this way, but, you know, just to listen to friends.
Yeah, listening's a big deal. And I think I'm trying to be that person to listen, more and talk less when someone else is going through something. Because sometimes when you're not listening, like if you have a friend, let's say you have a friend that you're telling them something and then they're more like not really listening, but they want to kind of just judge you based on what they think. And it doesn't mean that they're saying something that's totally wrong, but sometimes as a person, you just want to get things off your chest without being judged, because then you're going to have that guilt later. You're going to feel like, oh, great. Now I talked about it, but they viewed it a different way because that's their opinion. But now I feel bad. Now I feel
Yeah.
worse. So, and it's just like a balance. It's, a lot of the times our friends don't mean bad things with it. There are no bad intentions, but it might make you feel bad.
Yeah.
So when you say listening is like the best thing that you can do, because then your friend knows that, you know what, they're not judging me. They may have their own opinions, but they're allowing me to vent and just share how I feel. And that's all I need right now.
Yeah, that's true. And also too, like, when you are in a position where someone you feel attacked by one of your friends, I honestly feel like I should attack back, but I've learned to step away from the situation. Even bring an outsider in that doesn't know anything about the situation and say, hey, this is what happened. If you have text messages or anything, kind of share and say, am I being wrong? Talk me off the fence, because I
Oh,
want to save this friendship, but I don't want to this person to treat me like this all the time. So
yeah.
sometimes it's our own personal perception that is, worse.
That's true. And someone can give you advice on that. They can say, hey, maybe they didn't mean it this way. Maybe they were trying to say this instead of that. So it
Mhm.
does help to have, someone else give you their view on it. And then it may not be a big deal. But if it is a big deal and they're treating you bad, then yeah, definitely walk away from it.
But sometimes it's like something you say hits them wrong and something they say hits you wrong, but it wasn't in the intention that it was meant, but they took it as a different way. And you're like, okay, wait a second, we got to go back and we have to, redo this thing all over again. So
Yeah, sometimes I think there's a little bit, we get too much estrogen in the room. So
tell me about it. I know all about it because I have what, 3 girls, and you only have 2 boys, so you only have one estrogen in your house, whereas
yeah.
me, plus all the animals are girls too. So yeah, we have a lot of estrogen in it. My poor husband.
Those are good tips that you're giving, and good examples that I think a lot of people can use right now. I'd be interested in your comments when I look at this later to see what other people are doing, with their friendships and what's working for them.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have any other last suggestions or last comments?
I would say that right now, given the time that we've been given, that we should just make it a point to look at our friends, look at the ones that you have, look at the ones that you haven't been in touch with, and look at, to see if you want to reconnect with some of them and just check on them. Sometimes people think like if you have a friend that may not, have a family, they're single and they're just alone, it doesn't mean that they're feeling bad right now because of what we're going through. They may be doing just fine, but you just checking on them and reconnecting and getting the conversation going again, that's going to be really meaningful to them. They're going to appreciate that. And,
That's
along with your other friends as well, just test it out. You might get people that may not say too much back to you, and it doesn't mean that they don't care, but if you can find the ones that are happy to hear from you right now, I think that would be worth doing.
That's true. And we just had actually Kinsey just joined. She's actually one of Maddie's former teachers, like in high school, but we absolutely love her. So I just want to say hi to her real quick because she's watching. Um, Honestly, yes, I think friendship, definitely. We need to make sure that we don't let our friends get pushed aside during the social distancing. Even though we're getting back to our core values of relationships with our family and being with the inner circle of our family. Like right now, I'm really missing my daughter Maddie because she's in California, but I'm so happy and so thankful that Michaela and Gracie are home with me. And so just having that core, getting to be friends, I think, with your kids as well. Don't you think that's a big deal?
Oh yeah, I've always been like that. Anybody that knows me knows how I feel about my boys. My boys are, let's see, 20 and almost 26, but they are like, they say not to be friends with your kids. They're my friends and my sons.
Well,
So,
yeah,
you
but
know,
it's also at a different age group too, because once they get up to the certain age, I would much rather be friends with them now to and be able to go do things with them than them not want anything to do with you at all.
oh yeah. I mean, I feel that I'm really blessed with my kids, and luckily they're still at home. I know that's not always going to be forever. They're going to venture off on their own. But I think just having them here has helped. But I'm the type of person that when we first moved to North Carolina from Ohio, I needed to make friends. And I was used to living out in the country back home, just, outside of our town. But when we moved here, I chose to live where we live because my kids could make friends. I always told them, when you move there, you're going to find the best friend that you haven't met yet. Because it was hard leaving, a state that you've known all your life. And that was my advice to them. But at the same time, I knew that's what I wanted too. I'm like, well, I need to make friends. I want to go have coffee with a girlfriend. And that was like on the top of my list when we moved here. And it was huge because I had to leave friends that I've known forever and grew up with to a new state, and I didn't have any friends. So yeah, it's been a process, but I'm really glad I made the friends that I made.
Yeah. I'm glad we connected. What was it? A couple of years ago? Like 4
It's
years
been 3
ago?
years now. We have to look and see. We have to backtrack.
Maybe it'll come up on Facebook memories, like you celebrating your friendship. It's Lucy and Melissa Day or something like that. So, so like I said, it's all about the valuing of friendship right now, and that's one of my core values is friendship. And so, it actually got me out of my comfort zone with this challenge that I'm doing with Cami. It's called the Conquer Believe. No, what? Create, Believe, and Conquer Challenge. I got them backwards. And Cami is a life coach that she's actually going to be doing a 6-week challenge. That's a paid challenge, but right now this one is a free challenge. And it's for 5 days. And that was our homework for last night, was to come on and talk about one of our core values or all of our core values, but I chose friendship, relationships, because that to me, that's the most important thing to me. Anybody who knows me knows that's the most important thing to me are my friends, and being able to encourage and be there for each other.
Awesome. And anybody watching, let me just tell you, Melissa has been such a wonderful friend. She's always cheering me up. I couldn't ask for anyone better than her to be in my life. So I feel really blessed to know you. And I'm looking forward to all the memories, whether they're virtual and then the ones later when we get past this in real life. We're going to make more memories.
Yep. Ditto back to you, Lucy. Honestly, Lucy is actually one of the members of a mastermind that I created back in December. I had been thinking about creating this group for years and years and years. So finally met up with somebody who said, why don't you do it virtually? And I said, I had never even thought about doing it virtually. And so now there's 6 women that actually tonight, we're meeting tonight. And Lucy will actually get to meet Cami tonight, because Cami is going to come on and talk for the first 20, 30 minutes of our mastermind. But Lucy was actually one of the first people, Lucy and Emily, as you guys may notice, I talk about Emily a lot too, from Odom Farming Company, were the first 2 people that I thought about wanting to include in this mastermind. And so,
Yay. Thank you.
All right, so hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. And thank you, Lucy, so much for coming on with me.
Thank you.